The baby won't stop screaming. Serena's knees slam against wet concrete, rainwater splashing up her torn stockings. Her arms shake around 6-month-old Noah, trying to shield his tiny body from the storm hammering Brooklyn streets. Thunder cracks overhead like God himself is splitting the sky open. She can't feel her fingers anymore. Can't remember the last time she ate. Can't think past the next 5 seconds of keeping her son warm. A black Mercedes idles 3 feet away, engine purring like a panther. Chrome rims reflect the streetlight above, casting fractured shadows across the pavement. Serena collapses against the rear tire, her back pressed against cold rubber and metal. Noah's cries punch through the rain, raw and desperate. She rocks him, whispers things that don't matter, watches her breath fog in the October air. The club door opens. Light spills onto the sidewalk, gold and warm and wrong for this moment. A man steps out, and the rain seems to hesitate around him. 6'3", shoulders that fill a custom suit like violence wrapped in silk. His shoes don't make a sound. His face is all hard angles, jaw tight, eyes darker than the storm. He stops when he sees her. "Hi, viewers. Kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is. Who left you here?" His voice cuts through the rain, sharp and cold. Serena can't answer. Her throat is raw from crying. Noah screams louder, his little fists batting against her soaked jacket. She holds him tighter, turns her body away from the stranger, makes herself smaller. Men like this don't help. They take. He moves closer. His shadow falls over her, blocking the streetlight. She can smell his cologne now, something expensive that doesn't belong in this moment. He crouches down, one knee touching the ground, rain darkening his suit. His eyes lock on the baby, then shift to her face. "You're freezing." 3 words. Flat. Not a question. Serena's teeth chatter. She tries to speak, manages only a broken sound that gets swallowed by thunder. Noah's screams turn to hiccups, his tiny chest heaving. The man doesn't move, doesn't reach for them, just studies her like she's a problem he's calculating. "Stand up," he says. She can't. Her legs gave out 5 blocks ago. He reaches into his jacket. Serena flinches, pulls Noah closer, prepares for whatever comes next. But he pulls out a phone, taps the screen twice, brings it to his ear. "Bring the car around back. Now." He ends the call, looks at her again. "Can you walk?" Serena shakes her head. Without warning, he scoops her up, one arm under her knees, the other around her back, lifting her and Noah like they weigh nothing. His chest is solid against her side, warm through the wet fabric. She should fight, should scream, but her body is shutting down, and Noah has finally gone quiet against her chest. The man carries them toward a side alley. His footsteps are steady, unbothered by the rain or the weight or the wrongness of this entire scene. A black SUV pulls up, headlights cutting through the darkness. The door opens from inside. He sits in the back seat, gentle but firm, then closes the door. He walks around to the other side, slides in next to her. The driver doesn't turn around, doesn't speak, just shifts into gear and pulls onto the street. Serena stares at the man. Rain drips from his hair onto his collar. His jaw is set, eyes forward, hands folded in his lap. He looks like money, like power, like the kind of man who owns people. "Where are you taking us?" Her voice cracks. He doesn't look at her. Somewhere dry. The SUV moves through empty streets, Brooklyn blurring past tinted windows. Serena holds Noah against her chest, feels his heartbeat slow, his breathing even out. Her own heart won't stop racing. She studies the man's profile, the sharp cut of his cheekbone, the way his hands rest too still on his thighs. Hands that don't fidget, don't tap, don't reveal anything. They drive for 15 minutes. 20. The neighborhoods change, buildings get taller, streets get cleaner. Finally, they turn through iron gates that open on their own, roll up a private drive lined with trees. The house appears through the rain. No, not a house. An estate. Stone walls. Tall windows glowing soft yellow. Garden lights illuminating paths through manicured hedges. The SUV stops under a covered entrance. The driver gets out, opens her door. The man steps out his side, walks around, extends his hand. Serena doesn't take it. She climbs out on her own, legs shaking, Noah heavy in her arms. Rain drums against the roof above them. The front door opens, and a woman in a gray uniform appears, her face neutral and trained. "Take them upstairs," the man says. "East room. Get the baby what he needs." The woman nods, gestures for Serena to follow. But Serena doesn't move. She looks at the man, this stranger who pulled her from the street, who touched her without asking, who brought her to this place. "Who are you?" He meets her eyes for the first time since the alley. Something flickers there just for a second. Recognition. Purpose. Something that makes her stomach drop. Then he speaks, and the words land like stones in cold water. "Someone who's been looking for you, Serena. Have you ever trusted a stranger in the rain? Drop a comment and let us know what you would have done." Serena's fingers dig into Noah's blanket. The name. He said her name. She never told him her name. The woman in gray waits by the door, patient and still like she's used to uncomfortable silences. The man in the suit turns toward the stairs, dismissing her with his posture. But Serena's feet are planted on expensive marble, her mind racing through possibilities, none of them good. "Wait." Her voice is stronger now. "How do you know my name?" He stops, doesn't turn around. "You're cold. Your son needs dry clothes. We'll talk after." "No." The word comes out hard. "We talk now or I leave." He turns slowly, and his eyes are different now. Colder. The kind of cold that lives in men who don't get told no. "You'll leave and go where?" He tilts his head slightly. "Back to the street? Back to the shelter that turned you away 3 hours ago? Back to the subway station where you spent last night?" Serena's blood goes ice. He knows. He knows everything. "The East Wing," he says to the woman. Then he walks away, his footsteps echoing through the foyer until a door closes somewhere deep in the house. The woman touches Serena's elbow, gentle but insistent. "This way, miss." Serena follows because she has no choice. They climb a curved staircase, pass oil paintings in gold frames, walk down a hallway where the carpet is so thick her feet sink with each step. The woman opens a door to a bedroom bigger than the apartment Serena lost 2 months ago. A 4-poster bed. Windows overlooking the garden. A bassinet already set up in the corner, fresh sheets, soft blankets. The woman moves to a dresser, pulls out clothes, adult sizes, sets them on the bed. "Bathroom is through there," she says, pointing to another door. "I'll bring formula and diapers. Dinner in 30 minutes if you're hungry." "I don't understand," Serena whispers. The woman's face softens just slightly. Mr. Vale doesn't explain himself, but he doesn't hurt children. She pauses at the door. "You're safe here. For tonight, at least." She leaves. The lock doesn't click. Serena is alone with Noah in a room that costs more than her entire year's salary used to be. She moves to the window, looks out at the gardens, the high walls, the security lights positioned every 20 feet. This isn't safety. This is a cage made of money. Noah whimpers. She bounces him, walks to the bathroom. It's all white marble and gold fixtures. She runs warm water in the sink, uses a soft towel to clean his face, his hands, his tiny feet. He coos at her, his brown eyes wide and trusting. He doesn't know they're in danger. Doesn't know his mother just walked into something she can't walk out of. The woman returns with supplies. Formula, diapers, baby clothes in his exact size. She doesn't ask questions, just sets everything on the dresser and leaves again. Serena feeds Noah, changes him, puts him in the bassinet. He falls asleep immediately, exhausted from screaming. She watches his chest rise and fall, then moves to the clothes on the bed. They fit her perfectly. How does he know her size? She changes out of her wet things, pulls on soft cotton pants and a sweater that smells like lavender. Her reflection in the mirror looks like a stranger. 2 months ago, she had a job, had an apartment in Queens, had a future that made sense. Then Marcus Moretti died. The memory hits like a fist. She was folding his wife's silk scarves when the shouting started. Mrs. Moretti's voice, high and sharp. The lawyer's voice, steady and cold. Then silence. Then sirens. By morning, Serena was a suspect. The maid who was there. The maid who had access. The maid whose fingerprints were on everything because that was literally her job. They froze her accounts. sees her apartment under investigation protocols, blacklisted her name across every agency in the city. And when she showed up at the precinct demanding answers, they told her to get a lawyer she couldn't afford and wait for a trial date that might never come. She tried shelters. They were full. Tried friends. They were scared of being associated. Tried family. They were in Georgia and couldn't help. So she walked, held Noah, kept moving because stopping meant giving up. Until tonight. Until a stranger said her name in the rain. A knock at the door. Serena tenses. Dinner. The woman's voice calls through the wood. Serena doesn't answer. After a moment, footsteps fade down the hall. She moves to the bassinet, checks Noah, then sits on the edge of the bed. The room is warm. Quiet. The first quiet she's had in weeks. She should feel relief. Instead, she feels dread pooling in her stomach like poison. He was looking for her. Why? An hour passes. Maybe 2. She doesn't have a phone to check the time. Doesn't have anything except the clothes on her back and a baby who depends on her. Finally, she opens the door. The hallway is empty. She walks to the stairs, descends slowly, listening for voices. The house is silent except for the rain still beating against windows. She finds him in a study. Floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, a desk made of dark wood, a fireplace crackling with real flames. He's standing by the window, looking out at nothing, a glass of something amber in his hand. "You should be sleeping," he says without turning around. "You know my name, my clothes size, where I've been." Serena stays in the doorway. "Who are you?" He takes a drink, sets the glass down, turns. Luciano Valli. The name hits her like a train. She's heard it. Everyone's heard it. The man who owns half of Manhattan's real estate. The man linked to the Moretti family. The man police investigate but never charge. "Why am I here?" she asks. "Because 2 months ago, you saw something you weren't supposed to see." Her throat closes. "And now," he continues, voice flat and cold, "you're the only person alive who can prove I didn't kill Marcus Moretti." Do you think she can trust him? Comment below what you think Serena should do next. Serena's hand finds the doorframe, grips it hard enough that her nails bite into wood. The room tilts. Steadies. Tilts again. "I didn't see anything." Her voice sounds far away. "Yes, you did." Luciano moves to the desk, pulls out a file folder, opens it. June 15th. You were in the master bedroom, folding laundry. Mrs. Moretti came in with her lawyer. They didn't know you were behind the closet door. He's reading from papers. Documents. Her life broken down into typed sentences. They discussed the life insurance policy, the offshore accounts, the timeline for after Marcus died. He looks up, except Marcus didn't die until 3 days later. Serena's legs won't hold her. She sits in the chair across from his desk before she falls. "I didn't hear that," she whispers. "You heard enough." He closes the folder. "Enough that Isabella Moretti spent the last 2 months destroying your life to make sure you'd never testify." Testify to what? Serena's hands are shaking. "I don't know anything. I was just folding clothes." You know she planned it. Luciano sits in his chair, leans back, studies her like she's a chess piece he's deciding how to move. "You know the lawyer's name. You know the date. You know they laughed about it." They did laugh. Serena remembers that. A sound like glass breaking. "Why do you care?" she asks. "If you didn't kill him, why do you need me?" "Because Isabella is telling everyone I did." His jaw tightens. "And that story is costing me $40 million in contracts and 3 partnerships with people I've spent years cultivating. Money. It's always money with men like this. So, you want me to clear your name?" Serena's mind is racing now, connecting pieces. "You want me to tell someone what I heard?" "No." He stands, walks to the fireplace, watches the flames. "I want you to stay alive long enough for Isabella to make a mistake." "What does that mean?" "It means she'll come for you." He turns. "She'll find out you're here, and she'll try to finish what she started. And when she does, I'll have everything I need to bury her." Serena stands so fast the chair scrapes against the floor. "You're using me as bait. I'm keeping you alive." His voice doesn't rise. Doesn't need to. "You think you survived the last 2 months by accident? You think those shelters were actually full? That your friend were actually scared?" Her stomach drops. "I made sure you stayed visible," he continues. Made sure Isabella's people could always find you, but never quite reach you. Made sure tonight happened exactly where I needed it to. The rain, the street corner, the timing. None of it was coincidence. You set this up. Serena's voice is hollow. You let me suffer. Let my baby go hungry. Let me think I was going to die out there. Yes. One word. No apology. No explanation. Serena's vision goes red. She moves toward him, doesn't know what she's planning to do, just knows she needs to hurt him somehow. But he catches her wrist before she gets close, his grip iron and effortless. You want to hit me? His face is inches from hers now. Go ahead. It won't change what's true. What's true? She tries to yank her arm free. Can't. That without me, you'd be dead in a week. He releases her, steps back. Isabella has people everywhere. Police, judges, social workers. The only reason you're breathing is because I've been running interference. I don't believe you. Then leave. He gestures to the door. Walk out. See how far you get. Serena doesn't move. Because she knows. Deep in the part of her that's been running on pure survival instinct, she knows he's telling the truth. What do you want from me? She asks finally. Ing. He returns to his desk, sits. Stay here. Take care of your son. Let Isabella make her move. And then you disappear. New name, new city, new life. I'll make sure of it. It sounds too easy. Too clean. What? Serena moves closer to the desk. Why would you do that? For the first time, something cracks in his expression. Just for a second. Something that looks almost human. Because your father asked me to. The words don't make sense. Her father died when she was 16. Construction accident. She barely remembers his face. You didn't know him, she says. Dante Holt. Luciano opens a drawer, pulls out a photograph, slides it across the desk. Serena picks it up with shaking hands. It's her father, younger than she remembers, standing next to a teenage boy in a suit too big for him. The boy's face is familiar. Sharp jaw, dark eyes. Luciano. He pulled me out of a burning building when I was 17. Luciano says quietly. Told me I owed him my life. Told me if anything ever happened to him, I'd look after his daughter. Serena can't breathe. Can't think. Can't process what she's hearing. He died 6 months later. Luciano continues. And I spent 15 years making sure you were okay. Making sure you had jobs. Making sure you stayed safe. His eyes meet hers. Until Marcus Moretti died, and you became Isabella's problem. The room is spinning. Everything she thought she knew is reshaping itself into something she doesn't recognize. You've been watching me. It's not a question. Yes. For 15 years. Yes. Serena sets the photograph down, backs toward the door. This is worse than being bait. This is being owned. I want to leave. No, you don't. He stands. You want to protect your son. And the only way to do that is to stay. She's at the door now, hand on the knob. What if I go to the police? And tell them what? His voice is cold again. That a man gave you shelter? That you're a fugitive from murder investigation claiming a dead man asked me to protect you. He tilts his head. Isabella owns half the precinct. They'll have you in a cell before you finish the statement. He's right. He's been right about everything, and Serena hates him for it. How long, she asks. Until Isabella makes her move. Days. Maybe a week. And if she doesn't, his smile is thin and sharp. She will. Because tomorrow, she's going to find out exactly where you are. What would you do in Serena's position? Let us know in the comments. Morning light cuts through the curtains like a knife. Serena wakes with Noah's hand on her face, his tiny fingers exploring her nose, her mouth, her eyes. She didn't mean to fall asleep. Meant to stay awake, stay ready, stay prepared for whatever comes next. But exhaustion won. The bed was too soft. The room was too warm. Her body gave up. Now it's daylight, and she's still in Luciano Vale's house, and nothing has tried to kill her yet. She feeds Noah from the bottles left on the dresser, changes him into fresh clothes, sits by the window watching men in dark suits patrol the grounds. 5 of them, maybe 6. They move like soldiers, checking perimeters, speaking into earpieces, never looking up at the windows. A knock. Breakfast, the woman's voice calls. Serena opens the door. The woman, she still doesn't know her name, wheels in a cart with covered dishes, scrambled eggs, toast, fresh fruit, orange juice, coffee that smells like heaven. Mr. Vale wants to see you at 10, the woman says. I'll watch the baby. No. Serena's voice is flat. He stays with me. The woman pauses, then nods. Dining room. Downstairs. Second door on the left. She leaves. Serena eats mechanically, barely tasting the food. Noah sits in her lap, grabbing at her fork, making sounds that might someday be words. She tries to memorize his face, just in case. At 10, she goes downstairs. The dining room is empty except for Luciano, sitting at the head of a table that could seat 20. He's reading a newspaper, drinking coffee. He doesn't look up when she enters. Seat. She doesn't. Stands in the doorway, Noah on her hip. Isabella got the message, he says, turning a page. She'll be here by tonight. Serena's heart kicks. What message? That you're under my protection. He sets the paper down, looks at her. I had my lawyer file a motion to have your assets unfrozen. Use this address as your place of residence. You did what? Made you visible. He stands, walks to the window. Made it official. Made it so she can't ignore you anymore. You painted a target on my back. I painted a target that was already there. He turns. The difference is now you're behind walls, and she has to come through me to get to you. Noah starts fussing. Serena bounces him, tries to calm him, tries to calm herself. What if she doesn't come? She will. His certainty is absolute. Isabella doesn't leave loose ends. And when she does, Serena moves closer. When she shows up here, what happens? I handle it. Handle it how? He doesn't answer, just watches her with those dark eyes that don't give anything away. The silence stretches. Noah's fussing turns to crying. Serena rocks him, shushes him, feels the weight of this man's gaze like a physical thing. I need to know what you're planning, she says finally. No, you don't. He moves past her toward the door. You need to stay upstairs. Keep your son safe. Let me do what I do, which is... He stops in the doorway. Survive. He leaves. Serena stands in the empty dining room, holding her crying son, feeling more trapped than she did on the street. The day crawls by. She stays in her room, watches the guards, counts the hours. The woman brings lunch, brings dinner, brings more supplies for Noah. Never talks beyond necessary words. By 8 p.m., the house changes. Serena can feel it. The energy shifts. Voices downstairs, low and urgent. Footsteps in the hallway. Car engines in the driveway. She puts Noah in the bassinet, moves to the door, cracks it open. Listens. Southgate. A man's voice. 3 cars. She brought an army. Let them in. Luciano's voice calm. All of them. Serena's blood goes cold. He's letting them in. He's opening the gates. She closes the door, locks it, moves to Noah. Her hands are shaking. She needs a plan, needs a way out. But the window is 3 stories up, and there are guards everywhere, and she's holding a 6-month-old baby. Footsteps in the hallway. Getting closer. She grabs Noah, backs into the corner farthest from the door. Her mind races through options. Scream. Fight. Bargain. Run. The footsteps stop outside her door. A knock. Soft. 3 times. Serena. The woman's voice. You need to come downstairs. No. Mr. Vale insists. I'm not going anywhere. Silence. Then the sound of a key in the lock. The door opens. The woman stands there, her face neutral as always. It's not a request. 2 guards appear behind her. Big men. Armed. Serena holds Noah tighter. If you touch him, no one's touching him. The woman steps aside. But you need to come down. Now. Serena has no choice. She follows the woman downstairs. Guards behind her. Noah crying against her chest. They walk through the house to a room she hasn't seen before. Big. Dark. Leather furniture. A fireplace cold and empty. Luciano stands by the window. And across from him, sitting in a chair like she owns the place, is Isabella Moretti. She looks exactly like Serena remembers. Perfect black hair, diamond earrings, red lipstick, a smile that could cut glass. There she is, Isabella says. The little maid who thought she could run. Serena can't move, can't speak, can't do anything but stand there holding Noah while this woman stares at her like she's already dead. You made a mistake, Serena. Isabella stands, smooths her dress. You should have stayed gone. She's under my protection, Luciano says quietly. Your protection? Isabella laughs. You think I care about your protection? You think your walls and your guards mean anything to me? She moves toward Serena. Slow. Predatory. You took something from me, Isabella whispers. My husband. My life. My money. I didn't. You saw. Isabella's eyes are bright with rage. You heard. And you're going to tell everyone, aren't you? I don't know anything. Liar. Isabella's hand moves to her purse. Isabella. Luciano's voice is a warning. But she's faster. The gun appears in her hand, barrel pointed at Serena's face. Noah screams, and Luciano moves like lightning, crossing the room in 2 strides, gripping Isabella's wrist, twisting until she drops the weapon. You forget, he says, voice ice cold. I taught your husband everything he knew, and I warned him once, never cross me. Was Serena right to trust Luciano? Let us know what you think happens next. The gun hits the carpet with a sound like a bone breaking. Isabella jerks her wrist free, stumbles back, her face twisted with rage. Luciano doesn't pursue, just stands between her and Serena, his body a wall, his hands loose at his sides. Get out, he says. This isn't over. Isabella's voice is poison. You think keeping her here makes you safe? You think this changes anything? I think you just threaten a witness in my house. Luciano tilts his head. In front of cameras, in front of my lawyers, in front of 3 men recording every word. Isabella's eyes dart around the room. Serena sees it too now. The small black devices mounted in the corners. Red lights blinking. You set me up. Isabella's face goes pale. No. Luciano picks up the gun, ejects the magazine, clears the chamber. I let you hang yourself. He hands the weapon to one of the guards. Isabella is shaking now, her perfect composure cracking like ice. You're a dead man, she hisses. I've been a dead man since I was 17. Luciano moves to his desk, presses a button. The difference is I'm still here. The door opens. More guards. Isabella looks at them, at Luciano, at Serena holding Noah in the corner. This isn't finished, she says. Yes, it is. Luciano sits. My lawyers will have copies of tonight's recording to the DA by morning. The frozen accounts, the blacklisting, the attempted murder, all of it documented. Isabella's hands curl into fists. You'll regret this. I regret nothing. His eyes are empty. Now, get out of my house. The guards move in. Isabella jerks away from their hands, walks to the door on her own. She stops at the threshold, looks back at Serena. You should have died on that street. Then she's gone. The door closes. The room empties until it's just Luciano and Serena, and Noah's crying. Serena's legs finally give out. She sits hard on the leather couch, Noah clutched against her chest. Her whole body is shaking. She can't stop it, can't control it. Luciano pours something from a crystal decanter, brings it to her. Drink. She shakes her head. It'll help. I don't want help. Her voice breaks. I want to understand why you just risked my son's life. I didn't risk it. He sets the glass on the table beside her. I ended the threat. She had a gun. She had an empty gun. He returns to his desk. I had my people remove the ammunition before she arrived. Serena stares at him. You knew she'd bring it. I knew she'd try something. He opens a laptop, starts typing. Isabella is predictable. Desperate people always are. And if you were wrong? Serena's voice rises. If she'd brought a different gun? If she'd had a knife? She didn't. But if she did, he stops typing, looks at her. Then I would have put a bullet in her head before she touched you. The certainty in his voice is absolute and terrifying. Noah's crying has softened to whimpers. Serena rocks him, tries to find words, can't. Everything that just happened is replaying in her mind. The gun, the threat, the way Luciano moved. You've killed people, she says quietly. He doesn't deny it. How many? Does it matter? Yes. He closes the laptop, stands, walks to the window. Enough that I stop counting. His reflection in the glass is sharp and cold. Enough that one more wouldn't have changed anything. Serena should be horrified, should take Noah and run. should put as much distance between herself and this man as possible. But she's not running, because for the first time in 2 months, she feels safe. The recordings, she says. Will they be enough to destroy Isabella? He turns. Yes. To clear your name? Probably. To get your life back. He pauses. That depends on what you want your life to be. What does that mean? It means you have choices now. He moves to the desk, pulls out an envelope. I had papers drawn up. New identity. Bank account in your name. Enough money to start over anywhere you want. He sets the envelope on the table beside the untouched drink. You're giving me money? Serena's voice is flat. I'm giving you options. Why? Because your father. No. She cuts him off. Not because of my father. Why are you really doing this? Luciano is quiet for a long moment. When he speaks, his voice is softer than she's heard before. Because 15 years ago, a man I didn't know pulled me out of a fire. He didn't ask questions. Didn't want payment. Just did it because it was right. He looks at Noah. And because that baby deserves better than what this city would give him. It's the most human thing, he said. The most real. Serena looks down at Noah, now sleeping against her shoulder. His tiny hand is curled around her finger. His breath is warm against her neck. She thinks about the street, the rain, the shelters that turned her away, the future that disappeared. I want my name back, she says finally. My real name. My life. That'll take time. How much time? Weeks. Maybe months. The legal system moves slow. And until then, he gestures around the room. You stay here. Serena stands, walks to the window. The grounds are lit up like daytime, guards moving through shadows. Beyond the walls, the city glows. Somewhere out there, Isabella is making calls, hiring lawyers, planning her next move. But in here, Noah is warm. Federal safe. If I stay, Serena says slowly, I need to know what I'm staying for. I just told you. No. She turns. I need to know what you get out of this. Nobody does something for nothing. Luciano's jaw tightens. For a second, she thinks he'll dismiss her. Tell her to go upstairs. And the conversation like he ends everything. But he doesn't. I get to keep a promise, he says quietly, to a man who deserved better than what I became. The honesty in his voice is unexpected. Raw. What did you become? Serena asks. He looks at her, and in his eyes she sees something she didn't expect to find. Regret. Someone who forgot that power without purpose is just violence wearing a suit. What do you think Serena will choose? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for the next chapter. The ledger hits the table with a crack that echoes through the study. Serena jerks awake on the couch. Noah's stirring against her chest. 3 a.m. The house is dark except for the lamp on Luciano's desk. He's staring at pages covered in numbers, his jaw tight, his eyes moving fast across columns and dates. Something's wrong. She can see it in the way his shoulders are locked, the way his hand grips the pen like a weapon. What is that? Her voice is rough from sleep. He doesn't look up. Proof. Of what? That I was right about everything. He flips a page, drags his finger down a row of figures. And wrong about one thing. Serena sits up, careful not to wake Noah. The baby shifts but doesn't cry. She walks to the desk, looks at the papers. Names. Dates. Amounts in the millions. Where did you get this? Someone who wants Isabella gone as much as I do. He closes the ledger, leans back. A lawyer. Someone inside. Inside what? Her organization. He rubs his face, and for the first time he looks tired. Human. Turns out Marcus wasn't the only person she killed. Serena's stomach drops. How many? For that we can prove. Maybe 6. He opens a drawer, pulls out photographs. Business partners. A judge. A reporter who is asking questions. He spreads the photos across the desk. Faces. Obituaries. News clippings with headlines that read accident and suicide and natural causes. She's been doing this for years, he says. Building her empire on graves. Serena backs away from the desk. This is bigger than a blacklisted maid. Bigger than stolen money. This is organized murder. The recordings from tonight, she says slowly. They're not enough. No. He gathers the photos, slides them back into the folder. But this is... So you turn it over to the police. I can't. Why not? He stands, walks to the window. The guard are still out there, moving through darkness. Because half the evidence was obtained illegally, he says. Wiretaps, intercepted emails, bank records accessed without warrants. He turns. The moment I hand this over, Isabella's lawyers will tear it apart. And anyone connected to gathering it will go to prison. Including you. Including me. Serena moves closer. Then what do? We make her confess. His eyes are sharp again. Calculating. On camera. On record. Somewhere she can't claim coercion. How? By giving her what she wants. Serena's blood goes cold. Me? Yes. You want to use me as bait again. I want to end this. He moves back to the desk, opens the ledger. Isabella thinks the recordings from tonight are the only evidence. She doesn't know about this. Doesn't know her lawyer turned. So we set a trap. We give her a chance to fix her mistake. He looks at Serena. You agree to meet her. Alone. You tell her you'll keep quiet about everything you heard if she leaves you alone. She'll never believe that. She will if you're scared enough. He tilts his head. And you are scared. That's not acting. Serena wants to argue. Wants to tell him this is insane. But her mind is already working through it, seeing the angles. Where? She asks. Public place. Cameras everywhere. She won't try anything violent. You said she killed 6 people. In private. With planning. He closes the ledger. This will be improvised. She'll talk. Try to threaten you. Try to buy you. And we'll record every word. And if she doesn't confess, then we go to plan B. Which is... His smile is thin and cold. You don't want to know. Noah wakes up crying. Serena lifts him, rocks him, feels the weight of what's being asked. When, she says, tomorrow, noon, Central Park, near the fountain. That's too soon. That's the point. He moves toward the door. She won't have time to plan. Won't have time to think. She'll react. And reactions are honest. He stops at the threshold. Get some sleep. Tomorrow decides everything. He leaves. Serena stands in the study, holding Noah, staring at the closed ledger on the desk. Inside are the names of dead people. People who probably trusted Isabella. People who didn't see it coming. She thinks about the rain, the street, the moment Luciano said her name. Everything that's happened since has been leading here. To this choice. This moment. Noah's hand touches her face. His eyes are open now, looking at her with complete trust. Complete innocence. She thinks about what Luciano said. Power without purpose is just violence wearing a suit. But what is purpose without power? What is justice without proof? The clock on the wall ticks toward morning. Serena makes her decision. What would you do if you had to face your enemy? Comment below and let's discuss. The fountain is loud, water crashing over stone like thunder. Serena sits on a bench with Noah in a stroller beside her. One hand on the handle, the other in her pocket wrapped around her phone. Recording. Luciano's people made sure of it. Backup audio in case the cameras fail. Noon sunburns hot. Tourists everywhere. Joggers. Street musicians. Normal people living normal lives, while Serena sits here waiting for a killer. Isabella appears at 12:03. Black sunglasses. Designer coat. Heels that click against the pathway like countdown timers. She sits on the opposite end of the bench, doesn't look at Serena, just stares at the fountain. You made a mistake calling me, Isabella says. I want this to end. Serena keeps her voice steady. I want my life back. Your life. Isabella laughs. You mean the life where you're a maid? Where you clean toilets for people better than you? Better than me? Serena turns. You killed your husband. Prove it. Isabella's smile is razor sharp. Oh wait, you can't. Because you're nobody. You're nothing. I heard you planning it. You heard a conversation. Isabella finally looks at her. Conversation arrêtée crime. And even if they were, who would believe you? A homeless maid with a baby? Against me? She stands, adjusts her sunglasses. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to forget everything you think you heard. You're going to take whatever charity Luciano gave you and disappear. And if you ever speak my name again, you'll kill me. Serena stands too. Like you killed Marcus. Like you killed Judge Reynolds. Like you killed that reporter from the Times. Isabella goes very still. Who told you that? Does it matter? Serena moves closer. I know. And now other people know. And if anything happens to me, it all comes out. You're bluffing. Am I? Serena pulls out her phone, shows her the recording app. Red light blinking. Every word you just said is saved. Backed up. Ready to send. Isabella's face goes white. Then red. Then something ugly. You stupid girl. Her voice drops to a whisper. You think this saves you? You think Luciano can protect you forever? I think you're running out of time. Serena hits stop on the recording. And options. Isabella's hand moves to her purse. Serena tenses, ready to grab Noah and run. But Isabella just pulls out her phone, makes a call. It's me, she says. We have a problem. She listens. Her face changes. Shock, rage, fear. What do you mean they're at my house? Her voice rises. What do you mean federal? She ends the call, stares at Serena. What did you do? I didn't do anything. Serena smiles for the first time. But Luciano did. In the distance, sirens. Getting closer. Isabella hears them too. She backs away, stumbles, catches herself. This isn't over, she hisses. Yes, it is. 3 black SUVs pull up to the park entrance. Men in FBI jackets pour out. Isabella sees them, turns to run, but they're already surrounding her. Hands on weapons. Voices shouting commands. Isabella Moretti, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder, wire fraud, and racketeering. Isabella doesn't fight. Just stands there as they cuff her hands behind her back, read her rights, walk her to the nearest vehicle. She looks back once at Serena. Her eyes promise violence. Then she's gone. Serena sits down hard on the bench, her legs finally giving out. Noah starts crying. She picks him up, holds him, watches the SUVs drive away with lights flashing. A man in a suit approaches, FBI badge on his belt. Ms. Holt. He extends his hand. Special Agent Marcus Chun. Mr. Vale asked me to escort you home. Home. The word feels strange. It's over, she asks.
The arrest is. The trial will take months. He gestures toward a car. But you're safe now. We have everything we need. Serena follows him, carrying Noah, pushing the empty stroller. The car is black, tinted windows. Feels like every other car she's been in since that night in the rain. But this time, she's not running. She's going somewhere. The drive back to Luciano's estate takes 20 minutes. The gates open automatically. The house appears through the trees. Agent Chin walks her to the door, tips his head, leaves. Inside, Luciano is waiting in the foyer. He's on the phone, speaking Italian, gesturing with one hand. He sees her, ends the call. It's done, he says. I know. Serena sets Noah down in his carrier. I was there. The ledger was the key. The confession was just insurance. He moves to the window, watches the agents leave. She'll spend the rest of her life in prison. Good. They stand in silence. The house is quiet except for Noah's soft sounds. Your accounts will be unfrozen by tomorrow, Luciano says. Your name clear by the end of the week. The blacklist removed. Thank you. Don't thank me. He turns. This was always going to happen. I just made sure you survived long enough to see it. Serena thinks about the rain, the hunger, the fear, all the nights she spent wondering if morning would come. Why did you really help me? She asks. And don't say my father. There's more to it. Luciano is quiet for a long time. When he speaks, his voice is different. Softer. Real. Because I was you once. He looks at her. Alone. Desperate. Watching everyone else have things I couldn't touch. And someone helped me when they didn't have to. He pauses. I've spent 15 years becoming exactly what I swore I'd never be. But helping you? That was the first time in a decade I felt like I was worth saving. The honesty breaks something in her chest. You are worth saving, she whispers. No. His smile is sad. But maybe I was. Once. He walks past her toward his study. Stops at the door. Your father will be proud of you, Serena. I hope you know that. If you were Serena, would you stay or leave? Tell us what you think in the comments. Rain drums against the study window, not the violent storm from weeks ago. Gentle, steady, the kind that makes you want to stay inside. Serena finds Luciano at his desk, surrounded by papers. Legal documents. Transfer forms. His signature at the bottom of each page. What are you doing? She asks. He doesn't look up. Closing accounts. Transferring assets. Ending partnerships. Why? Because it's time. He sets down his pen, leans back. Isabella wasn't the only problem. just the loudest one. Serena moves closer, reads the documents upside down. Property deeds, business contracts, all being dissolved. You're leaving, retiring. He closes a folder. There's a difference. Where will you go? Somewhere quiet. Somewhere no one knows my name. He looks at her. What about you? I don't know yet. Serena sits in the chair across from him. I have my name back. My accounts. My life. But I don't know what that life is anymore. She looks around the study. Everything I thought I wanted feels small now. That's because you've seen what real power looks like. He stands, walks to the window, and real powerlessness. Most people never understand the difference. Noah is asleep upstairs. Serena came down here looking for answers. Found only more questions. My father, she says quietly. Tell me about him. Luciano is silent for a moment. When he speaks, his voice is distant. Remembering, Dante was a good man. Better than most. Better than me. He touches the window glass. I was 17. Stupid. Running from a crew that wanted me dead. They cornered me in an old warehouse, set it on fire, waited outside for me to burn. Serena's throat tightens. Your father was working construction across the street. Saw the smoke. Ran in without thinking. Luciano's hand drops. Found me passed out near the back exit. Carried me out. Stayed with me until the ambulance came. Did he know who you were? No, and I didn't tell him. Luciano turns. But he gave me his card. Told me if I ever needed work, needed help, needed anything, to call him. Did you? Once. 6 months later. His jaw tightens. He was dead. Construction accident. Crane malfunction. I was too late. Serena's eyes burn. She never knew this. Never knew her father saved a life days before losing his own. He told me something before I left that warehouse. Luciano continues. He said, you get one chance to be worth the air you breathe. Don't waste it. He looks at her. I've spent 15 years trying to figure out what that meant. And now I think it means using whatever power you have to protect people who can't protect themselves. He moves back to his desk, picks up an envelope, which is why I'm giving you this. He hands it to her. Inside is a deed. A house. In Queens. In her name. I can't accept this, she says. Yes, you can. He sits. It's paid off. Taxes covered for 5 years. Enough space for you and Noah. Close to good schools. Serena stares at the paper, at the address, at the signature, making it real. Why? Her voice breaks. Because your father gave me a second chance. Luciano's eyes meet hers. And I'm giving you one. She wants to argue. Wants to tell him it's too much. But her hands are shaking, and her throat is tight, and all she can think about is Noah having a home. A real home. Thank you, she whispers. Don't thank me yet. He opens another drawer, pulls out a folder. There's one more thing. Inside are documents. Legal papers. Noah's birth certificate. Amended. She reads the words. Reads them again. Can't believe what she's seeing. You listed yourself as his guardian, she says slowly. Backup guardian. He closes the folder. In case anything happens to you. Legal. Official. Unbreakable. Serena looks up. You take care of him? I protect him. Luciano's voice is absolute. With everything I have. Everything I am. Why would you do that? He stands, walks to the window again. The rain is getting heavier. Because I owed your father a life, he says quietly. And I failed to save his. But I won't fail to save his grandson. The words hit her like a physical blow. She stands, walks to him, stands beside him at the window. Outside, the city is gray and wet and endless. What you did, she says. Helping me. Protecting Noah. That's not failure. It's not redemption either. Maybe not. She looks at his reflection in the glass. But it's a start. He doesn't respond. Just stands there, hands in his pockets, staring at nothing. I'm leaving in the morning, he says finally. The house is yours for another week. After that, my people will help you move. Where are you going? Italy. Small town. No one knows me there. Will I see you again? He's quiet for so long she thinks he won't answer. Then he says, only if you need me. And I hope you never do. Do you think Luciano deserves a second chance? Share your thoughts below. The moving truck pulls away at 8 a.m. Serena stands in the doorway of her new house, Noah on her hip, watching it disappear down the street. Everything she owns fits in 12 boxes. Everything she needs fits in her arms. The house is small. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, kitchen barely big enough for a table. But it's hers. The deed is in her name. The locks are new. The windows face east, and morning light pours through them like liquid gold. She walks through each room, traces her fingers along walls that belong to her, opens closets that will hold her clothes, stands in Noah's room, imagining his crib here, his toys there, his future painted in colors she hasn't chosen yet. Her phone rings. Unknown number. She almost doesn't answer. Hello. Ms. Holt. A woman's voice. Professional. This is Jennifer Wu from the district attorney's office. Do you have a moment? Serena's stomach tightens. Yes. I wanted to inform you that Isabella Moretti has officially been indicted on 17 counts, including first-degree murder, conspiracy, wire fraud, and racketeering. Papers shuffle in the background. Her trial is set for March. We'll need you to testify. Okay. I also wanted to let you know that your case has been officially closed. All charges dropped. All records sealed. As of this morning, you're cleared. The words take a moment to land. Cleared. Free. Real. Thank you, Serena whispers. Thank you, Ms. Holt. Your cooperation was invaluable. A pause. And off the record, what you did took courage. Most people would have run. I had nowhere left to run. Still, you stood up. That matters. They hang up. Serena sits on the floor of her empty living room, Noah crawling across hardwood, exploring this new space. She watches him discover dust particles in sunlight, laughing at nothing, reaching for everything. Her phone rings again. This time she recognizes the number. Luciano's lawyer. Ms. Holt, I'm calling to confirm the transfer of funds went through. Your account should reflect the deposit. What deposit? The settlement from a Moretti estate. $300,000. Compensation for damages, lost wages, and emotional distress. Papers rustle. It's clean money. Fully legal. Approved by the court.
Serena's head spins. $300,000. I didn't ask for this. Mr. Vale did. On your behalf. Consider it back pay for everything Isabella stole from you. They hang up. Serena opens her banking app with shaking hands. Sees the number. Blinks. Sees it again. It's real. She looks at Noah. At the empty house. At the future that just shifted from possible to certain. That afternoon, she goes shopping. Buys furniture. A crib. A couch. Dishes and silverware and towels that smell like fabric softener. She buys groceries, fills the refrigerator, makes dinner in her own kitchen for the first time in 3 months. Noah eats mashed sweet potatoes, gets it everywhere, laughs when she cleans his face. She gives him a bath in a tub that's theirs, reads him a book in a room that's his, tucks him into a crib she built herself. When he falls asleep, she sits in the living room, stares at the walls, and cries. Not from sadness, from relief, from exhaustion, from the weight of survival finally lifting. Her phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. The house looks good. You picked the right couch. Ed. She looks out the window. Sees nothing. No cars. No guards. No watchers. But he's out there somewhere. Keeping his promise. Staying close enough to protect, far enough to let her live. She texts back. Thank you. For everything. 3 dots appear. Disappear. Appear again. You did this. I just made sure you survived long enough to finish it. Another message. Take care of him. I will. The dots appear one last time. I know. That's why I can finally let go. What does freedom mean to you? Comment your story below. 6 months later, Serena stands at Noah's crib, watching him sleep. He's bigger now. Stronger. Starting to pull himself up on furniture, babbling sounds that almost form words. His brown eyes are bright and curious, just like his grandfather's were in the photo Luciano gave her. The photo sits on her nightstand. Her father, young and smiling, next to a teenage boy who would grow into someone terrifying and powerful and unexpectedly kind. She thinks about that night in the rain. How cold it was. How desperate. How certain she was that Noah wouldn't survive the week. Now he's here, safe, federal loved, growing in a house that belongs to them, in a life she built from ashes. The doorbell rings. Serena checks the security camera Luciano's people installed. A woman stands on the porch. Mid-40s. Professional clothes. Warm smile. Serena opens the door. Can I help you? Serena Holt? The woman extends her hand. I'm Dr. Rashide Coleman. I run a non-profit that helps single mothers get back on their feet. Your name came across my desk. I'm doing okay now, Serena says. I can see that. Dr. Coleman smiles. I'm not here to offer help. I'm here to offer a job. Serena blinks. What kind of job? We need someone who understands what it's like. Someone who's been there. Someone who can talk to women in shelters and actually know what they're feeling. She pulls out a business card. Peer counselor. Part-time to start. Benefits. Flexible schedule for Noah. Serena takes the card. Reads it. Looks up. Why me? Because your story got out. Not the details, but the shape of it. Woman wrongfully accused. Lost everything. Fought back. Won. Dr. Coleman's eyes are kind. That's hope. And hope is what they need most. Serena thinks about the rain. The street. The women she passed in shelters. Their eyes empty with exhaustion. She thinks about what it would have meant to hear from someone who understood. Who survived? When do I start? She asks. Dr. Coleman's smile widens. Whenever you're ready. They exchange information. Make plans. Dr. Coleman leaves, and Serena stands in her doorway, card in hand, feeling something she hasn't felt in years. Purpose. That evening, she puts Noah in his high chair, makes dinner, sits across from him while he smashes peas with his fists. The house is quiet except for his sounds. No guards outside. No threats looming. Just peace. Her phone buzzes. A text from the lawyer. Mr. Vale wanted you to have this. An attachment. She opens it. It's a letter. Handwritten. Serena, by the time you read this, I'll be gone. Not dead. Just away. Somewhere I can't hurt anyone. Somewhere I can figure out if redemption is real or just a story we tell ourselves. I want you to know that helping you wasn't charity. It was selfish. I needed to prove to myself that I could still do something good, that I hadn't completely lost who I was before the fire, before the violence, before I became what I became. Your father told me I had one chance to be worth the air I breathe. I wasted it for 15 years. But these last few months, watching you fight, watching you survive, watching you build something real for your son, that felt like breathing for the first time. I can't undo the things I've done. Can't bring back the people I've hurt. But I can make sure Noah grows up knowing his mother is a fighter. That she didn't break. That she won. Take care of him. Teach him to be better than me. Better than the world that tried to crush you both. And if he ever asks about the man who helped his mother when she needed it most, tell him this. Even people who live in darkness can choose, just once, to protect something pure. That choice doesn't erase the darkness, but it proves the light still exists. Thank you for letting me remember what that feels like. Ed? Serena reads it 3 times. Her eyes blur. She sets the phone down, wipes her face, looks at Noah. He's watching her with those bright eyes, peas forgotten, sensing something important is happening. Your grandpa was a good man, she tells him. And someone he saved became a good man too. Just for a little while. Just long enough to save us. Noah reaches for her. She picks him up, holds him close, walks to the window. Outside, the street is normal. Cars passing. People walking dogs. Life happening in all its ordinary beauty. Somewhere out there, Luciano Vale is trying to figure out if he's worth saving. Serena hopes he finds the answer. Hopes he learns what she learned in the rain. That survival isn't about being strong. It's about holding on long enough for someone to reach down and pull you up. And then, when you're strong again, reaching down for someone else. She kisses Noah's head, closes the curtains, turns on the lights in her home, in her life, in the future she built from nothing. The rain stopped months ago, but she still remembers how it felt. How cold, how desperate, how final. And she remembers the moment it changed. The moment a stranger stepped out of the darkness and said 3 words that rewrote everything. Come with me. Sometimes redemption doesn't come from saints. Sometimes it comes from sinners who choose, just once, to protect something pure. And that choice, however small, however brief, proves that even in the darkest storm, light still exists. You just have to be brave enough to reach for it. Thank you for watching this story of survival, redemption, and the power of unexpected kindness. If this moved you, please subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss another story that inspires. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Let's inspire each other. Let's prove that light still exists. Together.